All right, Donald Watts, I'm back here with you, speaking to volunteer coaches. Are you volunteering to coach a team and looking to make that experience a great experience for the parents, for the players, for everyone involved? Do you want to have a great deal of fun yourself? A lot of volunteer coaches volunteer with the best intentions in heart, but then when the season goes, things turn. Parents aren't happy, players get upset. Well, in this episode, live episode, I'm going to tell you my 3 most important tips to making it a great season. Before I get into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about my personal experience and why recreational basketball and volunteer coaches are so important to me. And it goes back to when I started to love the game. I played at a high level. I played for the University of Washington. I played professionally. And none of those things would have happened if I didn't have a positive experience, my first experience with the game of basketball. And you, the volunteer coach, are really responsible for that, right? So for some kids, it's going to be their only experience playing at a recreational level. We still want that to be a positive experience. We want kids to grow up to be adults who love and enjoy the game of basketball, but most important, build friends and learn great lessons how to socialize through the beautiful sport of basketball. And so my experience, I was on a team as a youth. I started playing my first organized basketball in 5th grade. Now that team was coached by my father, Donald Slick Watts, which most people would feel like was some advantage. But the things that he did that made it very positive for us were some very simple things that I am going to share with you here. If you're watching, you have friends that you know are coaches, maybe you're a parent, and you grab them and tell them that we're watching this video and have them tune in. But that season that I fell in love with the game of basketball, we did not win one game during the regular season. We didn't win one game, but it still was a very positive experience because, one, I met new friends. I really got the opportunity to build my skills in practice sessions and enjoy the game of basketball in a way that I never had when I was shooting around by myself. But because of the way my father ran practice and because of the way he engaged with us as kids, we went on to the playoffs. We were in a situation where every team made the playoffs. But when you make the playoffs and you haven't won a game, you get the chore of going up against the first seeded team. And we did something very surprising to ourselves, which really catapulted me as a basketball player. We knocked off that first seeded team and went on to win the championship that year. And in the rest of this show, I'm going to explain to you how and why that happened, and that's not the important thing. But if you implement these 3 most important tips into your seasons as a volunteer coach, you're guaranteed to have a great season, not only for yourself, but the kids that you're working with and your parents. So what are those tips? All right, tip number 1 is set goals, right? As a coach, you want to set goals, but more importantly than you setting goals, it's important to have a goal-setting session with your team. That goal-setting session is really simple. All you do is at the start of a practice, if you start the season, you haven't done this already, don't worry about it. It's okay. You can start right where you're at. Get your kids into a circle and ask them what their experience is in basketball and what they're looking forward to accomplishing this season. You're going to figure out, typically we do this, we get 3 answers. 1, kids are competitive, they're basketball players, and they're looking forward to the games and getting out there and winning. Right? That's the first answer. Your most competitive kids, they want to get out there and win. Number 2, you have those kids that are pretty good athletes, not really basketball players, but they're looking forward to improving their skill sets and just enjoying the game of basketball through getting better. And then you have the third answer that we typically get is that the kids who aren't really that experienced and their parents have them there, they just want to have fun. They just want to hang out with their friends. And it's a way to do that. Now, your trick as a coach is to get these answers, ask these questions, and then design a way where everybody can commit to the same goal. And that common goal is working hard together and getting better. We ask our players that are competitive and want to win to invest in those players who are there just to have a good time, because if they do so, that's going to give our team the best opportunity to win. So we make partners, and we make sure everybody appreciates each other and each other's role on the team. So that's the first thing, is to set goals to start the season. The next goal you want to set is you want every single player to have constantly throughout the season something that you as a coach would like to see them improve. And then you as a coach, you want to spend some time to give them some drills or some things that can help them improve, where they can go do those things on their own in their driveway or whatever. If you can get your kids to practice when they're not with you, you've done a great job as a recreational or a volunteer or a school coach. So goal setting is key. That's tip number one. Tip number two, every single practice, I want you to do this. Every single practice, I want you to establish an emotional connection with the kids that you work with. And establishing an emotional connection is really simple. Kids nowadays, they'll come into the gym, they'll walk right past you, they'll grab a ball, and they'll start shooting in threes or shoot it from half court. You're not allowed to do that in our practice sessions. What we have to do, the first thing you got to do is you got to give me a high five. You have to shake a hand. And through that high five, I can tell what your mood is for the day as my player. If I get a really hard, enthusiastic high five, then I know you're there, you want to be there, and you're ready to go. If I get kind of a lukewarm high five, maybe you're a kid who is typically, but you're having a tough day or whatever. If I get one of these deals or you walk by me without a high five, I know as a coach that I'm going to have to spend a little bit of extra time getting you into what we're doing, and I'm going to do that. So tip number two is establishing an emotional connection with your kids at the start of practice, checking in with them throughout before water breaks, really being in tune with their spirit. And then at the end of practice, make sure you leave on a positive note and try to shake a hand, get a high five. We do a little chest bump to really get kids going at the end of the day. You want the kids looking forward to coming back and working hard with you. All right. It's not really basketball that they're buying into. It's you, the coach, that is going to build this experience for them. Now, the third tip goes into designing and strategizing your offense. And I'll tell a little story before I give you this third tip. And before I do that, we're gonna be doing this weekly or bi-weekly, and I want you to leave comments or questions or suggestions that we can comment on. Next time I'll answer your questions as you coaches. We're here for you throughout the season, okay? So now let's talk about our strategy. How do you design an offense? And before we do that, I'm gonna tell you a story. I had an adult who was coaching the team. We run our training academy. We work with kids. We come out and do coaches practice. I had a guy come to me some years ago, and he said, Coach Watts, I want you to come to practice. I really want you to help me. I'm having the hardest time trying to get these kids to understand our offense. And I said, well, what age are the kids? I'll be glad to come to practice. I'll be glad to help you build some skills, help you try to help them run the offense. He said, I'm coaching fifth graders, and I just cannot get them to understand or run the Princeton offense for anything. I said, what, the Princeton offense? I'm sorry, sir. I can't come, and I can't help you because I don't know how to run the Princeton offense. So that goes into my third tip. Keep it simple with the kids. Be realistic. Don't try to run a complicated motion offense. Please don't try to run the Princeton offense with fifth graders. You have to be Princeton smart in order to run a Princeton offense. Very few college programs can run a Princeton offense. So please don't stress yourself out as a coach by trying to run the Princeton offense with fifth graders, fourth graders, eighth graders, all right? So I'm going to tell you what coaches taught me all the time as a player, the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. All right? That's the strategy. And here to go a little bit more detail in the strategy, it goes like this. You can have a motion offense to teach kids continuity and to run around and to practice, and I think that's really important. But when you get into the game, you want the ball in your players' hands. You want space for your players to operate and to make plays for their teammates, okay? Those guys or girls who are really experienced with basketball put the ball in their hands and design plays that keep players out of each other's way And when they get the ball, they know exactly what to do next. And you want your players to be aggressive, and you want them to be assertive, and you want them to take the chances. I was talking to a coach friend of mine last night, and he made a statement, and it's a statement that I'm going to pass on to you guys, and you guys can pass it on to your team. A shot is 100% better than a turnover, right? So in youth sports, you don't want to you want player movement, but you don't want that ball moving around purposely. You want to do everything with a purpose, and you want your players making plays for your players that are less experienced, creating opportunities. You have creators and you have finishers. I don't want you to put a player that's less experienced, just sit them in the corner and not let them have the involvement. But I do want you to put the ball in the ball handler's hands and then encourage those ball handlers to go be aggressive and get buckets, but also to make plays for each other. That's our session today. I'll recap. Hopefully, you guys will leave some comments. Hopefully, you enjoy me. Let me know what you think about it. Donald Watts, Watts Basketball, Game Changers for Life. You can email us at any time. Any questions that you have, info@Watts Basketball, or my personal email, dwatts@wattsbasketball.com. Have us come out to you. Better fact, invite your players to our camp. Have your players come to our camp. If you have a team that you want to come to our camp, we have our holiday hoop camps, we have spring break camps, summer camps, we have team discounts for any coaches that call us and know that they have 3 or 4 or 5 players that want to come together. So have them come out. I'll recap my 3 tips. 1, set goals. All right. Figure out what the kids' goals and objectives are, and then set a common goal. As a coach, have a goal and a guideline, and your goal should be to build basketball skills, to build relationships, and to foster a true love for the game of basketball. I just gave you your goals. No, get a little bit more specific, but it should be involving those things, not wins or losses. If you do those things, the wins will come. More wins than losses will come. Tip 2, brain freeze. Tip 2, establish emotional connection with your kids. This is the most important thing. Know that when kids struggle, that they can look at you and you have their back. And if you do this, then they'll run through a wall for you. And then tip number 3 is to design an offense that gets players out of each other's way and helps them support each other based on their skill sets. Donald Watts, Watts Basketball, Game Changers for Life. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave your comments. Our next session, we'll be answering your questions. Game Changers for Life.